Hi everyone. Welcome to How to Run Your Best as a Plant-Based Runner Without Making These Top 3 Mistakes. I am so excited you are here, and it is 12 o'clock on the dot. So I am going to wait a few minutes to just get people in. While we're waiting for people to hop on, I will introduce myself. Also give you guys just some announcements as well before we get started as well is make sure that you comment, make sure to say hi. I want to know you're on. I want to know you're live. Also, if you did not hear as well, if you do hop on live and you do stay until the end, I am entering everybody that does that to win a free plant-based runner tank. So make sure to check that out. Also, if you are just watching this on replay, just let us know below replay if you're checking this out on replay. I know some people are really interested and want to be here, but if you can't make it, that's totally fine. And then I will also be going live tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I'll be doing the same presentation. So if you can't make this 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern time presentation, you can make that one. Also, as well, since I see some comments coming in before we get started here as well, I am going live using StreamYard. So if you haven't already, there should be a link above this video, right above me, and it should ask you if you want to allow StreamYard to show your name. So what happens is I can show you guys a sample here. Is it just says Facebook user. So I could see your comment, but I can't see who you are. So either allow StreamYard, click that link, allow StreamYard to show your name, or just let me know when you comment, just say hi and say your name. So I know who it is and I can shout you out. But I see a couple people are saying hello, hi, welcome. If you don't know who I am Kayla Slater, plant-based dietitian, nutrition, and run coach. And we are going to get started very, very soon, but I'm going to wait to more people to come on here. I believe there is a total of 50 people signed up for this masterclass. That is amazing. So I want to make sure people can hop on here before we get started. So we will wait a couple more minutes. As I said, if you're just joining, make sure to say hi, say hello. Let me know who's on. Let me know who you are. Type your name in the comments as well, so I know who you are, or click that StreamYard link above. Yay, Kelly. Yes, I see you. Your name popped up. Yes, it worked. Yay. Welcome. Kelly is one of my clients. Joyce is on too. She is one of my clients as well. Hello. Welcome. So glad you guys could join us. And I know we have some newbies as well, and some of you that either work for me or may have been following me for a while. So this is so exciting. I am going to be talking more about who I am if you are new. Some of my clients, you guys probably know me already, but I do want to tell you guys who you're learning from and why I am teaching all this information, so you guys feel comfortable to learning who you're learning from. So today we are going to be talking about how to run your best as a plant-based runner without making these top 3 mistakes. And these are really the things that I have learned from working with clients for the last 2 or 3 years, what I have learned and what I have seen working with clients. So I'm so excited for this. I hope you are too. Yay, looks like we're up to, we have 8 people on. Hello. Somebody else said hello. I'm not sure who that is. If you haven't already, make sure to click that link above. Make sure that you allow StreamYard to either show your name so I can see who it is in the comments, or you can also just type your name in. It looks like, okay, Gail's on. Yay. Marshall's on. Hello. Awesome. Thank you for joining. So we got Joyce, we got Gail, we got Kelly. We got, let's see, who else is on? We have 8 people on. Who else is on? Awesome. Chad is on. Chad is my boyfriend. If you guys don't know him, he may pop in on here as well. He's helping me out. He's also a moderator in this group, so he helps me out with some things. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. I know Michelle is local to Florida, to the Tampa area, so welcome. Hi, Chris. Chris is new. I know Chris is new to the group. He's a physical therapist. Welcome. Thanks for joining, Chris. I'm so excited. Yay. All right. All right. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for this? Oh my goodness. I have so much to talk about today. So I hope you guys are ready for this. Okay. So let me know below if you're ready. If you're ready, let me know. Type in ready in the comments below and we will get started. All right. Are you guys ready? Okay. We'll wait here for the comments to come in. All right, let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Now, I don't think that this this presentation will take up the whole hour. It may, but I have booked a whole hour, so you guys know. And it's okay if you guys do have to hop off, but if you do stay until the end, you could be entered to win a free plant-based runner tank. And Leon, am I saying your name right? Leon is on as well. Hello. Leon is ready. Yes. Awesome. Michelle said she's ready. Kelly said she's ready. Chris said she's ready. Woohoo. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Okay. So, first I should make sure too, you guys can hear me okay. Sounds like I think everyone can hear me okay, but just give me a thumbs up below if you guys can hear me okay and all of that stuff as well. And see my presentation. You guys see the slides up here as well. Just give me a thumbs up below. Making sure that we're all good. Okay, you guys are ready, so I think we're ready. Okay, do I see any thumbs up? Just give me a thumbs up. All right, looks like we're ready. Ready, thumbs up. There we go. Okay, I got a thumbs up. Yay. All right, let's go. So how to run your best as a plant-based runner without making these top 3 mistakes. All right, so here is an outline of what we're going to be discussing, what we'll be talking about today. So who am I? As I said, I wanted to really go over because I know there's some new people into this group and may have never heard from me before. So who am I? Why am I teaching all this stuff? Why should you be even learning from me? Also, why fueling properly matters. Now, this is so huge, and I think my clients can attest to this as well, right? They have understand now working with me why fueling really does matter. So I'll be going over that. And then we're also going to be talking about the top 3 mistakes that I see runners make. And this could be related to any runner, but it is more specific for plant-based runners because those are who I mostly work with. And then also the key things you need to do to run your best as a plant-based runner. So I not only want to talk about the mistakes and maybe the struggles and challenges that you're having, but I want to talk about the things that I know you need in order to get you to where you want to go. And then I'm going to be discussing a new opportunity that I have for you. And also at the end, we will answer any questions that you guys have. Sound good? Awesome. All right, cool. So who am I? I want to start with here who I was. So first of all, I was lost and alone, right? I've been a runner most of my life since cross country. I ran cross country in college as well, or high school and college. But I did really feel lost and alone. I did have developed some disordered eating habits early on in high school. I wasn't omnivore, I was not vegan, or I was not plant-based. And then when I went to school, I won't tell you guys the whole story, but if you do want to hear my whole story, I have shared it before and you can check that out. But basically, after I went to school, I didn't originally go to school for nutrition, but then I did. I changed my major and all that stuff. But anyways, I became a community dietitian, and I loved doing what I did, but I realized how much running was always there for me. And unfortunately, in college, I actually didn't run all through college. Since I ended up transferring schools and studying nutrition, I kind of had to let that running kind of go for now. So I still ran, but didn't run competitively. But I always had in my mind that I wanted to be a Boston qualifier. I just wanted to really know what my full potential was in running because I never felt like I had that chance to do that in college. And so it really led me to, I would say, where I am. And then as well as professionally, I loved my job. I loved teaching as a community dietitian. I taught kids in schools. I'd go in the community and teach adults as well. And, you know, um, that had families about healthy eating habits, but it also just didn't feel aligned with myself. It didn't feel aligned with what I believed. And on this journey of when I found plant-based nutrition, when I found vegan and how important that was to me, suddenly learning about I wanted to save more animals. It's not fair. They shouldn't be losing their lives for us, as well as, the environmental impacts and all of that. So the more I went on that journey, the more I realized that I wasn't quite sure what I was doing if I could keep doing that because I did have to teach the USDA guidelines, which are there. General guidelines are great for the general people. But I realized that I wanted to actually help those people that, maybe they like to be active. Maybe they were runners like me, but were struggling in that way. And maybe they want to reach their full potential. So that's really where it kind of started. So suddenly I had this interest, right? Suddenly had this interest like, well, maybe this is something. Maybe I can use what I really feel passionate about and actually do that for my career. And that's what's led to me now. So now I am on track. So my personal goals, I am on track to qualify for the Boston Marathon, which is amazing, right? Pretty cool achievement. Haven't done it yet. And it's very challenging, but I am in that journey right now. I've been a registered dietitian for the last 5 years. I have been a nutrition and run coach doing what I'm doing now for the past 3 years. And I'm also a plant-based nutrition certified. So not just a dietitian, but I have gotten my certification, also plant-based nutrition. And as well, that led me to really working with runners and working with plant-based runners because I felt that that is my passion and realized that, I had so many struggles and challenges and I've had to fight through that diet mindset, the disordered eating habits and things like that to really learn how to fuel my body properly in order to get here. And I've realized if I know this nutrition stuff and it's still a struggle for me even now when I'm really highly training, it is not easy to do. I really got to make sure I plan. I really make sure I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but to actually do it is very hard, even for me. So knowing that, I wanted to be able to take all that and be able to help you guys, as well as having that education backed up as well. So that is my story. Some of my story here. Hello, my friend. Is that Daniel? That must be Daniel. Hi, thank you so much for joining. Awesome. 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 I'm just sharing. I just started here in the very beginning and just sharing a little bit about myself. So now that you hopefully feel comfortable in who you're learning from, I want to talk about why fueling properly matters. So it really impacts performance. And I know not all of you may be in that stage or in that mindset of just focusing on performance, but I can tell you, even if you're, feeling like, oh, I kind of would like to lose a couple pounds, but it's not something that's, really the weight loss is, really needed for your health. It's not, it's can be better to actually focus, somewhat, more on that performance side of it. If you just, really like to run and that's what you enjoy to do. So anyways, it impacts performance, right? What that means is, you may bonk during training runs or races. You may get a DNF. You may feel really crappy if you don't fuel properly. And it's also not fun You can also pass out at track meets or even marathons. So I know Kelly is on. I know Kelly can attest to this. I don't know if you want to comment anything about that, but I know Kelly has been there. She has is a great runner, but has felt like that before. So she knows how important fueling really does matter. And also, what I also want to bring up here is that you can actually do more harm than good to your body when you really are training. So if you're, what I mean by that is, not just, running an occasional, maybe 3 miles, 3 days a week, but actually training. So if you're actually training in training mode for a half marathon or marathon, or maybe even a triathlon, there may be a few triathletes on here as well. Oh, and Kelly just said, yeah, if you don't eat enough, you hit a wall hard. Yes, so I just want to show this comment here. Yeah, if you don't eat enough, you hit a wall hard. Yes, so Kelly has been there, right? And that's not fun. So, as I said, and it can do more harm than good to your body. First of all, it's not fun doing that, right? Especially in a race. But it also can do more harm. So, what I mean by that is disordered eating habits can create an unhealthy relationship with your food, which is going to make it really hard to fuel your body. Also, underfueling can cause irreversible hormone damage. This happens, especially what I've seen is it has happened in females. And that can be really damaging and make it really even harder to manage your weight, which can be a concern as well, right? And also underfueling can lead to injuries, which is not fun, right? If you've ever been injured, it is not fun. You feel like all the work that I did is just gone, and now I can't run. I can't do what I enjoy. What am I going to do now, right? It's absolutely devastating, right? Also, and not a lot of people know this one as well, but you can actually, when you don't fuel properly, you don't fuel enough, it can actually it can actually increase your risk of heart disease. So when you go plant-based, you think that you're doing a good thing, right? You think you're doing this great thing for your health and you should be eating more plants, right? But then what's actually, what could happen is if you're not eating enough, you're not fueling your body enough, and you're underfueling and under eating, it can actually increase that risk of heart disease because your heart has to work harder. So we don't want our hearts to work harder than they actually have to. We want to fuel our bodies and make sure we're giving our bodies the right nutrition, the right amounts in order to keep us healthy and also help with our performance. And then also it could lead to also nutrient deficiency. So some common ones that I especially see with female athletes is iron deficiency is a big one, especially. And then is there another one I can think of? I think that's the biggest one that I see. And calcium and vitamin D deficiency. That can lead to bone fractures, stress factors, things like that. And it could cause serious health issues. It can, it can prevent you from training. You may be told that your iron's so low that you can't train anymore. Same thing, when you get an injury, right? Could be caused from being deficient in vitamin D or calcium that led to the stress fracture from all the running that you do. And then suddenly you have an injury, right? And you can't train. And it's devastating, right? And also may cause medical bills, right? If you pass out or if you get an injury, you might have to, either see a orthopedic, or maybe you have to see a chiropractor, physical therapist, and that costs you money, right? So it's definitely worth it to take that time in order to really properly fuel your body, especially when you're training, even if you're not an elite athlete, but even, if you're really training for an event or a race and really doing a lot of miles, whether it's biking or swimming or doing a lot of activity, then we do want to make sure we are fueling properly. So it looks like somebody just got on. Thank you for joining. Glad you're here. No worries if you're late. We were just talking about why fueling properly matters. So we're still in the beginning of the presentation. And then Kelly mentioned, magnesium. Yes, that's another nutrient deficiency. Yes. And that's why it's important to also take your electrolytes, not just sodium and potassium, but also taking a magnesium is also helpful as well. Definitely. Awesome. Okay, so I do want to just share some client wins here real quick before we move on. So one of my clients said this quote, "My runs have been getting longer and faster. I think this is probably because I'm recovering better with the post-run snack and also because I'm focusing more on eating more and eating more protein where I can." Another quote from another client is, "When I drank during the week and didn't plan meals, I didn't realize how big of a toll it took on my running, working out." And that quote actually came from Kelly Drew, who's on here. So this just affirms, right? This just shows you that, how important it is to fuel and how it really does matter. So that's what I want you guys to get out of this, this first part of this presentation, that I can't stress, I can't tell you how much fueling really does matter and how it really does impact, your life, your happiness, in your performance in your event that you're training for. So now I want to talk about the mistakes. What are the mistakes that I see most of, my clients, my plant-based, the plant-based runners make? Number one mistake, you don't eat enough, which we kind of just talked about, right? And I think where this comes from a little bit, not completely, but some of it comes from a diet mindset. So we are just bombarded with social media and just society, right? Because unfortunately, we are, most Americans are obese. They're eating the standard American diet. We still are struggling with this, right? So we are just bombarded with diets, diets, diets. Take this diet pill, take this cleanse, do this, do that, right? The thing is, I want you guys to really think about and start to think about trying to get a mindset of an athlete mindset. Even if you don't believe you're an athlete, as I said, if you're training, if you're really training for a half marathon, a marathon, an Ironman, you are an athlete and you should have more of an athlete mindset than a diet mindset. And I do go over this more if you work with me, but really the thing is when you have this diet mindset is you feel like you have to restrict yourself constantly, right? And what happens is this leads to bonking on your runs or feeling like you're just not good enough to achieve your running goals. And that's not a good feeling, right? We don't want that feeling. And where I see this happen the most is restricting carbs. So we feel like we can't eat enough carbs. But I can tell you, going plant-based is so good or it is good for athletes in a way, because, or at least what advantage is that the foods that you eat, the majority of your foods are going to be carbohydrates, right? Because even most of those plant-based protein sources like beans and legumes have carbohydrates. So really, we shouldn't be so afraid of these carbohydrates because we actually need carbohydrates. We need carbohydrates for energy. So what happens is those carbohydrates are used as glycogen in our muscles. And when you bonk, what happens is that you don't have any more storage of glycogen because you don't have any more carbs to feed those muscles. So it's so important, right, especially during like a marathon, to make sure that you are refueling, right? And that's why those goos or, taking dates or something like that in order to refuel is so important, right? Because our muscles will use up that glycogen and then it's no longer there. We can't keep going. So carbohydrates are so important. And I also see people restricting fats. And this is also a no-no, because the thing is, even though a lot of, I know a lot of the, plant-based doctors out there, and I love them, I follow them as well, and I'm always learning from them too. But the thing is, they are talking to the general public. They are talking to people that, have diabetes, have heart disease, and maybe they want to reverse it or prevent it. So in their case, right, you would follow a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet. That is what's going to help them reverse their disease. But with you as an athlete, you don't want to eat too low fat, because if you eat too low fat, that's also going to prevent you from achieving your goals, because you're going to have a hard time fueling enough. Also, fats are also used as energy. So, really, all your macronutrients are technically give you energy, right? Because energy equals calories. So all your macronutrients give you energy, but carbs and fats are the two that really give you energy for those muscles to keep running. So especially with the longer distance and the longer events, those fats are just as important as those carbohydrates are. So I see those two things that people restrict probably the most, that really leads to, bonking, and really just makes you feel that you're not good enough. You feel like you can't achieve your running goals, and that's not fun, right? We don't want to feel like that. I know, because I've been there also myself. I've been there too. My clients have been there, and it's not a fun feeling. Mistake number 2, you do not plan and you just wing it. So no meal planning, no fueling plan, no training plan, no strength plan equals failure. So I have a lot of prospective clients that come to me and they tell me this. They tell me, right, that they don't have any plan. They don't have a fueling plan. They have no idea what they're doing. They might not even have a training plan. They don't really quite know what they should be doing every day, but they just know that they want to get better. And I know failure is probably not probably doesn't give you a good feeling, right? I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, there are things in my life that I've been so afraid of doing because of failure, right? So I'm afraid because of failing. It doesn't quite make sense, but it does make sense in that is what's human nature, right? Because committing to ourselves is really scary, because we're scared of failing. But the thing is, if we really want to get to the next step, if we really want to achieve our goals, then it's so important that we make sure we set ourselves up for success. And when we don't have these things, we're setting ourselves up for failure. And that's not a good feeling, right? No one wants to feel like they failed. Has anyone, lost a job, maybe had to DNF in a race? Those are not good feelings, right? You felt like a failure. You felt like you were a loser. Like, why am I even here, right? What is my purpose of my life, right? You go into this self-negative cycle, right? You don't want to feel like that anymore. This also, it can lead to, the things that we just talked about as well. Bonking, nutrient deficiencies, injuries, right? And those things, as we said, right, can kick you out of training. So it makes you feel like you're not good enough. You can't do this. It makes you feel like you're a failure, right? But really, it's not your fault. You're just not set up for success. You've really just set yourself up, unfortunately, to fail, which is the opposite of what we actually want to feel, right? Oh, thank you, Joyce. Joyce just shared a great comment. I want to show this comment here before I go on. So Joyce, as I said, is one of my clients that's currently working with me. She said, I used to have the mindset of failure is not an option. You cannot learn if you don't fail sometimes. Exactly. And not all failure is bad, right? Sometimes we have to learn that it's okay, because that is how we learn. That's probably the biggest thing that I've learned, well, from my running journey, as well as my career journey as well, that I've realized that I have to, every step I take, sometimes I feel like I fall down, but I get back up and I learn from it and I do it again, right? You just keep doing. It's like learning to walk when you're young, right? It's like learning to walk, right? You at first you start to walk, and maybe you fall down, but you get right back up and you keep going, and eventually you learn to walk, right? Same thing as learning to ride a bike, right? When you first rode a bike, did you hop on that bike and suddenly just take off and know how to ride a bike? No, you probably fell a couple times. You might have fell and then cried and ran to your mom, right? And you felt like, oh, I'm a failure. I can't do this. So absolutely, sometimes failure um, is okay, and you don't want to have that mindset, right? Um, that really limits you from taking a step forward because you're afraid of failing. And number three is no support or accountability. So I see this so much, especially when I talk to prospects, is they get advice from their coworker who maybe just went raw vegan, and maybe they're not an athlete, or maybe their family isn't plant-based, or maybe they're trying to make all these changes on their own. What this leads to is misinformation. It leads to confusion, feeling really overwhelmed because you don't know who to listen to, what to do, where to even start, right? And it doesn't help you reach your goals. Feeling all those things does not help you to get you to where you want to go. And it may even question you if you can do this, or if you can still even be plant-based or vegan. And I have talked to so many people that have told me that they used to be plant-based and they're not anymore because they're athletes, and they felt better when they introduced animal products, which is fine if you decide and you're okay with that. But for some people, that may be really hard to do. If they really have those ethical beliefs as a vegan, it can be really hard. So I don't want you to have to question that or have to do that because you feel like you have to do it for your health. Of course, health is always important, right? That should always be number one priority, is your health, right? Because you can focus so much on performance as well that it beats your body up, right? It can really beat your body up, and it can get to a point of feeling addicted, feeling like an addiction, or feeling like it's really taking a toll on your health isn't where we want to go, right? We want to find that balance. So I still want you guys to understand that. But really having, again, just not having support or accountability really, again, sets you up for failure. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault that, your family isn't plant-based, or, your coworkers mean the best, but maybe they just don't understand what athletes actually need and how that's different, right? When you go plant-based. So as I said, it leads to all this confusion. It leads to all this overwhelmment. And you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. Or maybe you start to blame yourself because you feel like, oh, why don't I have, more willpower to do this? I don't understand. I really want to do this. Why is this so hard? But when you don't have that community, when you don't have, that you're not in that environment of, what the same people you're doing the same things, being active and eating plant-based and changing those behaviors, it's really hard to do when you don't have that community support. And I can tell you that it's not your fault. It's absolutely not your fault, because when you're not in that, don't have that support, it's really, really, really hard. And you are only human. And Kelly said, even doctors will tell you that you need meat, dairy as a runner, or you will have deficiencies. Yes, that's so true. And that is something, right, that I've realized that, I wanted to be that dietitian. I wanted to be that dietitian and that advocate for you guys, for the plant-based athletes that, want to really be plant-based and vegan, because I've even been told that myself. And made me even question things, but also made me realize that no, I know that this is a good thing for my health. I just have to figure out how to do this. And then I realized that, okay, now that I know how to do this, let's teach other people and make sure that they believe that they can do it too. Someone else said, no failures, just hiccups. There's always the opportunity to begin again. Absolutely. I love that. Yes. And I don't know, this might be a question, so I'll come back to that. And then someone else said, support and accountability matters. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But yes, I will get back to your question here about whole food, plant-based um, eating and processed plant-based food. So yes, I definitely want to get to that question because that is something that I definitely hear a lot. So I will come back to that. So um the key things you need. Okay. So this is what you need. So I really set up the feelings, hopefully, of what you don't want, right? The things that you don't want. So now what do you need? So number one is the right mindset belief. As Joyce mentioned, right? She really used to have that mindset of failure, but now she doesn't, right? She realized that it's okay. You just got to keep moving forward. It's okay to, have challenges and hiccups and maybe fail a little bit, but keep going. And that's what I think having support and having guidance is really helpful to have when that happens, because it is really hard. And believe me, I have been there. I have coaches myself, and they've picked me right back up as well. But the right mindset belief. Also, have you worked with a coach nutritionist in the past? Has anybody worked with maybe a run coach and maybe even a personal trainer or a nutritionist in the past before? So if you have, maybe one of the thing is, when people do come to me that they're concerned because, maybe they've worked with someone in the past and they're like, yeah, I didn't really like that dietitian, or I didn't like what they told me. It just didn't work out for me, right? And that's why it's so important to make sure that you find a dietitian, nutritionist, or a coach that really aligns with your values. And that, I think, is so important more than anything, because that's really, really hard to find. And it can be really, really, really challenging. And I've had a lot of mentors as well and coaches, and it's really tough, but I can tell you, when your values are aligned, it's so much easier. So, if you have had, a coach or nutritionist in the past, it's possible that, you just didn't have the same values, which affected, right, your mindset and your belief in, working with a coach or nutritionist before. But I want you to just throw that away, because, as I said, if you connect with somebody and they have the same values, it's really helpful. So if they weren't plant-based, or maybe maybe you had a personal trainer, but he or she wasn't a runner, or maybe even wasn't, or a triathlete, right? Maybe it was just really hard for you to connect with them. So I want you guys to know that. Also, a properly planned nutrition plan, including a fueling and hydration plan. So, not just having a nutrition plan for plant-based for your health, but also including that fueling hydration plan is so important. And that really matters, especially when you're training, because even if you're eating, drinking pretty well, but you're still not reaching your goals as quickly as you're like, then maybe there's some improvement that we could do to either how you're eating, the amount you're eating, or maybe just, really fueling and hydrating, maybe a little bit more, or maybe it's what you're using for fueling and hydration. Also, a customized training plan and strength plan specifically for runners. So this is specifically for my runners, even if you don't have a lot of time and are busy with a family and a full-time job. So maybe you're worried about, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do this training, or do all this strength training, but I've tried to, really make this as simple as possible for you in order to make it doable for you, and not cost, not take a lot of time to do. But of course, with any training, it is a commitment. There's some time you have to commit to it. And then community support. You also need, as I said, it's just so helpful really to have that community support, because you don't have to do this alone. You can do this alone, but you're just going to continue to struggle or continue to just feel overwhelmed. And trying to just often, it doesn't work. It's really, really hard to do on your own. Okay, so before I get to this next, um, I think I'm going to go back to answer your question. Okay, I'm going to answer questions at the end as well, but I want to come back to this question before I move on here. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So, can a runner properly fuel on a whole food, plant based way of eating without processed plant based powders and bars, etc.? So, my answer isn't going to be probably the most simple answer here, but yes and no. So, really depends on the person and how much they're able to really eat that's whole foods. The problem that I see with especially my athletes is that they have families, they have jobs, and they are really busy. So being able to prep enough food and being able to just have the time to just basically shove food in your mouth, or that's just can be really hard for some people to feel like you're constantly eating. So because of those things, a lot of times I will recommend that you do try to have a smoothie. And that might not necessarily be right whole foods, but it's going to help you to get to your calories. It's going to get quick protein in it. Now, if you're with protein powders, I will say that it's not necessary. I will say that protein powders aren't necessary. It can be easier, as I said, you know, to have like that smoothie with a protein powder. You can substitute beans in your smoothies. I've actually started doing that myself and been teaching clients to do that as well. But say that you're at an event, or maybe you just ran a half marathon and you need to get protein in that 45 minutes, right? So you're like, okay, no, I got to get this protein in. But you're looking at all the food after your race and you're like, what am I going to eat? None of this is protein. What do I do? Right? So in that case, it may be a good idea to have a plant-based protein powder and be able to have that on you, maybe in your bottle, shaker bottle already, and be able to just add water, because you always get water right after a run. So, or after a race. So in those cases, it's convenience. So you really have to think about like, okay, is convenience more important right now, or is health? And I don't want to say health, and hopefully you guys know what I mean by that. But really, it's sometimes convenience is what you have to do. And I do think it's important that those that want to be as closely whole food plant-based as they possibly can, to believe that you can do it, but not be so strict to it that you don't vary if you have to in order to meet your needs. Because as I talked about in the beginning, it's so important that we're fueling enough. And if we're eating whole food plant based and we're not able to do that, then that could be a reason why, okay, maybe we do need to, add a protein powder, at a certain time, or bars, to just make it more convenient in order to make sure we're fueling ourselves so we don't have an injury, so we don't lead to nutrient deficiency, those things. So hopefully that makes sense. But very good question. I absolutely love that question. Yes. So, okay. So, how? I should go back here. So, how can you do all this? So, how can you get all of these things, right, that I talked about? Does all of that stuff sound interesting to you guys? Does that sound great? Does it sound like, yes, I want it? Like, I want to have all of those things. I want to have a fueling plan, a training plan, making sure I have a strength training plan specific for me as a runner. Do you want to have accountability? Is that all stuff that you guys want to have? But say yes, comment below yes. If so, comment if that is, that is what you want. Okay, and we'll Go to the next slide here. So how you can get all of the information, all the things that I just talked about, what you need to run your best as a plant-based runner. In order to do that, you can join the Run on Plants Academy. So I am so excited that we have created this program for you. I really think it's going to be a great program for people, especially those that are, plant-based and wanting to train for a half or full marathon. Specifically for this is for. So I want you guys to stop thinking you need more motivation. Stop counting calories or macros. Stop having a diet mindset. Stop following general meal plans, macros that are not for plant-based runners. Stop trying other diets that just don't work. Stop struggling on your own and continue to balk on runs or even get injured or nutrient deficiencies that takes you out of running. Stop feeling crappy and disappointed about yourself. Stop doing extra work than you need to do to be a better runner and spend more time with your family. Stop not fueling, hydrating due to GI issues. Because as we said, it's so important to make sure you're fueling, right? So I want to share some more success stories of some of my past clients. So here's one of my clients. My past client, she is a college vegan athlete. So she's a young female athlete. So she said that Coach Kayla really helped me to learn about what my body needs as a runner and just as a growing female athlete. I learned about how much food I really need, how much of different macronutrients I need, how balance making sure I'm getting enough fuel without stuffing myself or feeling uncomfortable, how to build balanced vegan meals, how to find the cheapest plant-based options to build a variety of meals, how to deal with an injury and continue fueling myself through it, and the certain types of foods that should be emphasized to recover from an injury. So Leah's runs got longer and faster, and also with a proper fueling plan, she was running better than ever. I also want to point out that she did have some disordered eating past. So we really took a more intuitive eating approach, and she did amazing. She did amazing with it and really focused on just the general things that she knew she needed to get more of without counting calories, counting macros, or any of that. And success number 2, Jessie was a new runner that came to me. She's actually her past was a dancer. So she came to me and wanted to run her first half marathon and also make sure that she was eating properly as a vegan, plant-based. So I helped Jessie run her first half marathon. She struggled with disordered eating in the past as well. So we were also made sure it was more of a mindful, intuitive way as well with meal planning and what to eat for runs, but got the support and guidance she needed to complete her first marathon. Jessie also says here, I loved working with Kayla. She helped make sure I was fueled and fit for my first half marathon and even surprised me at the event and ran with me the last leg up to finish with me to give me that extra burst I needed. And success story number 3 is Laura. She was a vegan junk food marathoner. So Laura came to me frustrated that she couldn't get through long runs and was addicted to sugar. After helping her with meal planning and creating satisfying meals for herself, she felt better, more confident in her food choices, and also fueling for her runs. Laura says, thank you so much for the program. My eating has changed. Sincerely, a former junk food vegan. So if you're a junk food vegan, knowing that you just want to eat more whole foods and less of those processed foods, but also making sure that you're eating enough to fuel your body for fueling for events or marathons, then this could be absolutely for you. So your new opportunity is know what you need to do and develop those habits. Feel more confident in your food choices. Run your best. Feel your best. Be your best to show up for your family and be a part of a like-minded community that wants you to succeed. So that is your new opportunity. So what do you guys say? Is that something that sounds good to you? Is that what you want? Again, type yes below if so. If that is something you guys want, if that's a new opportunity that you know that you need, that you want to, if you want to run your best, if you want to feel your best, if you want to be your best to show up your family, comment below yes. So as I said, this is what the opportunity that I've created for you is to join the Run on Plants Academy. So who is this program exactly for? So I want you guys to know exactly who this program is for. So if you are a female between 20 to 50 years old who wants to fuel and perform at your best, if you're already plant-based or new to plant-based eating as a runner, maybe you have some previous running experience but are either new to marathons or want to improve your half or full marathon time. You are not focused on weight loss, but you may struggle with, body image, maybe diet mindset or all or nothing type A personality. And you also value health and wellness, plant-based nutrition, vegan for your health, as well as animals, the environment, and you value your family as well. So really, this is for the female plant-based runner to help you fuel and train for half a full marathon. So here is my offer. Here's the Run on Plants Academy offer. So what you will receive is weekly group calls for 24 weeks via Zoom. This is, the value of this is about $250 a month. So for a 6 months for weekly one-on-one calls, it would be $4,000. The plant-based nutrition trainings, along with nutrition support and guidance, the value of that would be about $250 a month. Customizable half marathon and full marathon training plans, that's about value, you could say about $100. A strength plan for runners, the value of that is about $50. Accountability and messaging support via Practice Better with Coach Kayla, as well as the group chat, which the value of that is $50. It's also something you don't normally have, right? If you go see a dietitian in person, you may see them for one session and that's it. And also access to food and lifestyle journal with personalized feedback. That's also, that value would also be around $50. So the value of everything that I am offering to you guys as your new opportunity is $3,250. Also, the group training topics are going to be on mindset and managing stress, sleep, work-life balance, plant-based sports nutrition basics, plant-based meal planning, fueling pre, during, post runs, adjusting meals based on training days, recovery nutrition and stretching, race day mindset, and even more. So we're going to have these weekly calls. They're going to be group calls. We're going to have a specific training on each topic, but I'll also leave questions as well where you guys can answer me any questions, because I still want you guys to get that personalized help and that feedback as well. But we'll be talking about all of these things to really set you up for success. And so that leaves me with my offer. So as I said, this value of giving you all this information that I'm giving you guys is valued at $3,000. But if you qualify and you are a good fit, I will get you in this program for only $1,200. That's it. Just $1,200. That's all I'm asking, because I want you guys to do this. I want you guys to take action, and I want you guys to take action right now on this, because if you keep delaying this, then you may never do it. You may never actually take action on your goal. So if you guys are interested and you're like this, and this is absolutely what you need, then I want you guys to get in today. So this offer does end as well May 20th. And if any of you guys do take action today as well, I will also take some off of that as well. So apply now. So complete my application. So how you apply is complete the application. I have a link here. It's, if you go to my website, you'll see Work With Me tab, and there's a group coaching tab below that, or you can go to this link right here. I will also, let me see if I can put it up on our screen here as well. So let's see, here it is. Okay, we'll put this up here as well. So as I said, complete the application, book a call with me, and then we will get started. So this enrollment does end on May 20th. So you do have some time to think about it. But as I said, I want you guys to take action. Take action, because if you don't do it now, you may rethink and you may talk yourself out of it. But if you were like excited, if I was talking about all those things that you're like, yes, this is what I need, this is how I want to feel, then absolutely take action on it right now. Complete that application, book a call, and let's get on the phone and get you in the program. We will begin the week of May 24th. So that is when our program will start. Okay. And I just wanted to answer some questions here. How am I doing on time? Okay. Might go a little after if anybody does have any other questions, but here are just some common questions that I wanted to go over right now. So what if I don't qualify for who this program is for? So if you don't think you're a good fit for this specific program, please message me and I'll reach out to see if I can still help you reach your goal. So I may still have another opportunity for you if this isn't quite the opportunity, but you're still like, I really want to work with you, Kayla, then you absolutely can. So I don't want you to feel like you can't. Also, what if I'm training for a triathlon, maybe a cycling event, OCR, other endurance event? Can I still join? Absolutely. So you'll still find it beneficial to learn plant-based endurance sports nutrition. It's going to be the same, and connect with other group members as well. And having that community can be also really helpful. So we can, in that case, if you won't be using the training plans that I'll be giving you, we can meet one-on-one to adjust that training plan for your specific sport. So we can do that. We can adjust it. Or maybe if you have also, I know some people also have coaches already and they're already training them on the endurance aspect of it. But if you're really wanting to learn this nutrition part of it, you can still jump in and do just that as well. But I do want you to make sure, if you want to and get the full value, to take advantage of everything that you have offered to you. But that doesn't mean that you have to do everything that is part of the program either. And what if I don't know if it's possible for me to commit to weekly group calls? This could be a lot for you. I know every week is a lot. Calls will last, I believe, about 90 minutes, about an hour and a half. But all calls will be recorded and posted within 24 hours in the client portal modules that you'll have access to. You will also be able to message me and get support via your food journal in between calls. So even if you can't commit to the weekly calls, I don't want you to feel like, well, it's not worth it for me to do, because you'll still get that messaging support. We can still meet one-on-one if needed as well, and you still can get support via those food journals, and you can still watch the calls on those recorded calls if you can't make that time commitment. And when will calls be? Will I be able to attend calls if I'm on the West Coast or overseas? So calls will be scheduled once everyone is enrolled and Kayla gets everyone's availability. So I do want to do my best that I can to find a time that fits for the majority of people. Of course, it's really hard to really work around all of our schedules, right? But my schedule is very flexible. So I do want to work the best I can around your schedule. And then if I have to, I will schedule 2 calls a week. Maybe for people that are, on the West Coast or overseas, maybe we offer that one time. And maybe for other people that want to have a time after work, we could do a call then. So very flexible to that. If we have to have 2 calls to have everybody join, if we can't make one time work, but I do want you guys to know that I would do my best to accommodate you. And you may be thinking as well, how many people are going to be in this group? So the maximum amount of people in this group will be 10. So I've set it as 10 people because, as I said, I still want this to be small enough for individual attention. So hopefully we can get through our training on the group calls, as well as answer any questions and things like that that you guys have. We'll also, once a month, I believe, we will be just having a hot seat Q&A kind of format. So when we hop on that group call, you guys can just answer any questions, ask any questions that you guys have that is for you. So instead of just meeting with, one-on-one, there'll be other people. But the great opportunity with that is that we can learn from each other. And we may all be struggling with similar things if we're going through the same training plan. So we may have the same struggles. So I think it's great for you to be able to learn from each other as well. But as I said before as well, we can also schedule one-on-ones with me if it's needed as well. And lastly, what if I have no money and can't afford this right now? So this is a limited time offer and only have 10 spots available, as I said, but I will work my best with people in this scenario. So here is a current client story that I wanted to use. When I asked the current client, who's been working with me for over 6 months now, what the conversation was like when she talked to her husband, she said that she is in charge of her own health and he probably wouldn't have been supportive or understood. When asked about anxiety or investing in the program, she said yes, but I know I can't do it alone. So absolutely, right? If you feel that, if you're in that same boat, as I said, if you're really having anxiety over that, sometimes the best thing to do is just know if this is your priority, if this really means a lot to you, to just absolutely do it, right? Just do it. You're not going to regret it. Yeah. So any questions? You guys are so awesome. I do want to share some, you're going to make me cry. I do want to share some of these comments here. All awesome and different stories, all reach greatness. So cool. Kayla is incredible, y'all. She's got so much valuable experience to offer and cares about her clients deeply. So worth it. I love working with Kayla. Oh, thank you so much, guys. You make me cry. You're the best. Oh my gosh, sorry. I know I get too emotional. My boyfriend's always telling me I get too emotional, but when I'm passionate about something, I get emotional. I can't help it. Okay. So that is all I have for you guys. So with that, does anyone have any questions? So before you guys leave, I just want you, to really think about this. If you said yes above and it's like exactly what you need, I don't want you guys to be scared. Just take action on it. You are in good hands, as you've heard from other people here as well. You won't regret it. It's going to be an amazing program, and I absolutely want to help you. So join the academy today. Apply and book a call with me. I have the link here as well. I will also post it or comment below as well. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for joining. You're welcome. You're so welcome for all the information. But yeah, so comment here below, or I will comment below with the link as well for you guys to join. Actually, I'm going to do that right now, just to wait. So I know we're over our time here. We're over our time. So if you do have to jump off, totally fine. If you have to get off, but if you do have any questions about any of the information that I talked about today, or if you have any questions about the program in itself, let me know, comment below, and I will answer your question. I'll also go back through and make sure I did answer any questions. If you do watch this on replay, I can always just go back as well and answer your questions. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate you taking your time to listen to me and share this information with you, as well as a new opportunity to help you. So thank you so much for joining. And that is all I have for you guys. But yeah, I'll hang out a little bit longer here, a few more minutes for if anybody does have any questions at all, while I comment that, make sure that link is below this video so you guys can directly click on it. So let me see if I can do that without messing anything up here. Okay, so let's see. Actually, probably the easiest thing is to get out of that and use this link here, guys. Okay, so let's see. My nose is running here. Okay. Let's see if I can comment. Oh, maybe I can't. Okay. I'm not sure if I can comment, actually. Oh, yep, I think it worked. Maybe. Okay. We'll make sure it's down there. Make sure the link's there. But anyways, again, thank you guys so much. Are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions at all? Hopefully I did a good job. I guess if you don't have questions, that's good. Hopefully that means I did a good job. But yes, if you guys, even afterwards, after watching this presentation, if you're thinking about it, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. Reach out to me. Definitely can answer any of the questions you have. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. I thank you so much for just having this opportunity to listen, to take your time out of your day to listen to me. I appreciate it so much. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.